Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we are finally back. And we're going to be having ourselves a 1v1 on Faymonville Approach. Our heroes today are going to be Mr. Frost, previously known as Sturm Tiger Frost, playing as the Soviets in the blue. And his opponent in the red is going to be none other than Jesulin, playing as the Osttruppen or Wehrmacht faction. Holy shit, guys, I'm back. Again, wow, I keep saying that over and over again. It's becoming a very bad habit for me to disappear, but holy shit. So if you guys haven't checked the blog that I posted 2 days ago, damn, I mean, I got pretty screwed by myself and the internet providers on this side of the world, and yeah, I basically ended up being without internet for more than a month, and that is why no games came out. But if you want a little bit more of a detailed explanation of what happened and a recounting of the events, then yeah, check out the blog. But yeah, the gist is I screwed up. Got left without internet. Now I'm back, and hopefully that means I'll be back and better than ever. Still, though, I am going to be leaving on a regular basis, almost basically 1 week a month, which is going to make it hard to keep the replays going all the time. But, you know, at least now that I have internet, I should at least be able to get some content out. And even if there are interruptions, it shouldn't be as long as it was right now, because holy shit. So I know that probably not gonna get a lot of people watching right now because, well, I mean, most of you have probably forgotten. But for those of you that are watching, thanks. Thank you for sticking around, and hopefully we'll be back to the type of games that you enjoyed. Because right now, I'm not even talking about the game, because I know that I'm gonna be shit on this cast, because it's been over a month since I've casted my last game, and I'm probably gonna be rusty as hell. So right now, we're just looking at nice units moving around and fighting around in the map. So let's try and talk a little bit about the game. The game itself was apparently from the ESL. Those games seem to be going pretty well. I mean, I haven't really been reading too much about it, but overall seems like some changes in the rules and such have made the tournament scene a little bit more enjoyable, I believe. But yeah, I mean, if anybody knows the dirty details and stuff that's been going on, let me know. Maybe it's maybe I'll find it interesting. So, anyways, Jesulin, I mean, one of the best players, not even better, one of the best players that we currently have for Company Heroes 2. Currently facing off against Frost. Not sure what round or whatever it was here, but it's going pretty well. So we have Jesulin going, obviously, right off the bat for the Osttruppen Doctrine, as he, of course, has Osttruppen. Going for 3 Osttruppen, following it up with 2 MGs, and nothing else so far. He is teching, getting his battle phase 1 right now, so we'll see what he ends up doing with that. Frost, for his part, went for 3 conscripts to start off with, then teching into tier 2, getting himself a mortar. Pretty useful to dislodge some of those Osttruppen, as they tend to last for quite a bit inside of houses. And yeah, I mean, these changes happened before I left, but remember now that there is no big mansion here in the center. There's also no house over here, which used to be right here next to the fuel. And some other changes that I forget. Something around over here? Oh yeah, like this wall is no longer a solid wall. It's the fence, it's already open. Multiple changes went down on this map, which I suppose are good. I mean, it's nice to rebalance them and not just leave them there as broken messes. So engagements all over the place. On the left-hand side, we saw that Osttruppen squad engaging the combat engineers. Center map, we have some conscripts laying down some sandbags. Over on the right-hand side, Osttruppen hold up inside this house, taking a Molotov to the face. Nice to see the Molotovs are back. Did they get changed, or is it just a personal preference there for Frost to get those buildings cleared? Because there was a while there for a couple patches that hadn't really seen Molotovs get used at all. But, well, maybe the meta has shifted. So center map, the Osttruppen pushing in force, the conscripts doing quite a bit of damage. Funny thing though is that the engagement was taking part in the wrong direction, as the conscripts are of course, their base is up in the north and the Osttruppen is in the south, and they were duking it out in opposite ends. Mortar squads getting engaged now by the Osttruppen. The Osttruppen are trying to push forward, but we do have Maxim machine guns now out on the field. One of them moving around to try to catch those Osttruppen. They did get suppressed by it. Now they move forward, continue to get shot, and now forced to retreat. Osttruppen continue to push forward over on the right-hand side. They're going to try and go for the point. No, they're actually going to... No, they are. Nice positioning there for Frost, being able to capture the point at the same time that he has the heavy cover and is in the middle of the engagement, so that works pretty well. Does end up getting suppressed there, as of course all the men from the Osttruppen squad were not in the heavy cover, even though the squad markers showed heavy cover. It's more of a majority kind of thing, right? 222 now on the field for Jesulin, as he did go for tier 2. I believe on the last patch the 222 got changed. I think it got its health increased, so it's beefier now and able to withstand more punishment. I'm not sure if that makes the 222 like the new meta and everybody goes for it, but I suppose it makes it a much more attractive option, as it is a little bit more difficult to take out, right? MG42 popping out of this house as it gets Molotov, setting itself up a little bit behind it. The scout car managing to get some hits in on the crawling conscripts. Taking some hits to the machine gun itself, taking a little bit of damage, but not too much. Able to really just, like I said, withstand it a lot easier. Conscript squad gets caught by the MG42 as it sets up behind the house, getting riddled, almost torn apart, down to 2 men. Forced to retreat, second squad manages to crawl its way into the house, which may have been a bad thing there for the MG. However, with only one window able to look in this direction, the conscript squad inside really unable to do much to the MG42. We're at a big building and, you know, at least like 4 windows able to shoot at the MG. The MG would have quickly been taken down and quickly forced to retreat, but in this case it was able to even stay there, shoot into the house, and get some more damage going. So now with the tier 2 down, Jesulin's going to be getting himself some heavier infantry, going for the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers now out on the field. And for Frost, still no Doctrine, still no additional tech, and going for an AT gun, as he wants to maybe be able to potentially take down that 222. And obviously, as any player would expect, there's probably going to be something heavier coming down the line onto the house. Maxim machine gun for Frost, hold up inside the center house. The one window there is currently shooting point blank at the 222. The 222's autocannon, however, and the support of the MG behind it, actually 2 MGs behind it, able to dish out a lot of damage to the men inside, bringing it down to 3 men. They exit the house, not retreating. They're actually sitting there out in the open, a little bit risky there for Frost. Far left-hand side, Osttruppen squad and not conscripts, combat engineers fighting around the fuel. The Osttruppen squad currently trying to capture the fuel, and they do have the benefit of the cover there as they get their buff. It's just accuracy, right? I forget what it does exactly, but something like that. 222 though, brought into the mix, manages to tip the engagement in the favor for the Osttruppen. The Osttruppen managed to capture that point. Oh, and the engineer squad goes down to the 222 as it mangles it on the retreat. Auto canning, ripping them apart. And the AT gun is now on the field for Frost. Frost picking his Doctrine. That is the shock rifle frontline tactics. Pretty standard, pretty well, actually I don't know if it's standard, you know, nowadays, but you know, we've seen this used 100 times before, even before it got nerfed for the amount of Collins. But of course, you know, you get the shock troops, you get the KV-8s, you get the IS-2s in the end, so it's a pretty solid Doctrine. You really can't go wrong with it most of the time. So right-hand side, conscripts and Maxim machine gun fighting against the Osttruppen. Maxim machine gun managing to hold up inside the house, denying it to the Osttruppen. They are in heavy cover against the conscripts. However, the Maxim machine gun's weapon should soon turn its sights on them. Yeah, there it goes. MG burst going off, and the Osttruppen getting themselves a little bit shot up. Maxim machine gun and the AT gun being utilized here for Frost as it throws an artillery barrage into the center shack. Trying to not close it out, but collapse it, or well, probably not the intention exactly, but you know, trying to kill whatever was inside. But with a continued barrage there from the mortar and the damage that the AT gun did, this house should soon be collapsing. It is down to a sliver of health, so might be left there on the field by Frost simply as a trap for Jesulin. Maybe he decides that he wants to put units inside the house once again, then goes one shot, collapses the house, and everybody dies. So it's not a bad idea. Panzer Grenadier is going to be pushing forward, managing to get the flank going on the Maxim Machine Gun as the Maxim Machine Gun focuses on the Osttruppen, which are currently, well, they do get pinned down as they are behind that cover. However, the Maxim Machine Gun manages to get a good angle there. Shots fire in all directions as the Panzer Grenadiers manage to go for the point. And, ooh, nasty shot there. And they clear out that Maxim Machine Gun. Maxim Machine Gun may be stolen here by Jesulin, although he does have 2 MGs of his own, so maybe he doesn't need it. AT gun once again being utilized to throw an artillery barrage. One of the nicer options there for the Soviets and their AT gun. Osttruppen, however, managing to close the distance and get themselves on top of the AT gun, forcing it to back off before the barrage continues off. Maxim Machine Gun does get cleared out and stolen on the right-hand side for Jesulin. Manages to get the steal, and that is great for him. Second steal goes, and geez, Jesulin now has 4 MGs in his possession, which means Frost is in a very bad situation here when it comes to his infantry. He does have access to indirect fire to dislodge them, so, you know, he's not all that bad, but it's pretty bad losing those MGs so close together. I mean, at all. Losing them at all is, you know, a bad thing already, but losing them in quick succession and getting them stolen quickly turns the battlefield into a very, very different scenario. So the conscripts over on the right-hand side are trying to dislodge that new Maxim Machine Gun. They do throw a Molotov into the house, however, the fire AoE doesn't cover the entire house, so most of the men are still there and able to stay alive. They get out and reposition into another location. Osttruppen pushing forward, being the cannon fodder. Oh, that they like to be. They take a shot to the face by the mortar. Down to 2 men. However, nobody's shooting at them, so they are able to stay there for a little while. Now hitting retreat. Should be able to make it out of there just fine. Back at base, nothing so far. I forget what was changed. That was also just before I stopped casting, when they changed all the resource skills to instead just provide a fixed amount of resource rather than income. What was changed here? Like what was? I think it was just like a conversion, right? I've forgotten already. So anyways, conscripts in the center, Uraying past everything, managing to get themselves behind this MG42, also managing to get out of the arc of fire of that Maxim Machine Gun, allowing them to go for the flank, and they are now on top of that MG42. However, Panzer Grenadiers with Shreks now equipped, retreating and running. Conscripts over on the left-hand side trying to go to cap some points behind the lines. And Jesulin just has troops all over the field. Scout car did take quite a bit of punishment there, down to about half health. But there are 2 Pios on the field. And on the left-hand side, we see the Osttruppen and a Pio squad with flamethrowers engaging the conscripts out in the open. The conscripts are taking some damage there to the flames, although not as much as if they were in cover. However, it is 3 on 3, and with the flamethrower will be killing them a lot quicker than these conscripts can deal the damage. Forced to retreat, they're going to have to run the gauntlet here through a lot, down to 1 man. The Osttruppen picking them off, taking some shots. Flamethrower bursts go off. More shots from the Osttruppen. Can they nail the guy on the retreat? No, they can't. We do have a Maxim Machine Gun set up on the retreat pad. May be able to actually get shots going on the retreating conscript. However, another conscript squad gets in the way, catches his attention, and gets shot up on. So the 1-man conscript squad is able to barely make it out of there alive. Behind him, Panzer Grenadiers moving around with their Shreks, making sure that nothing gets the upper hand on Jesulin's army. Shreks flying, destroying terrain all over the place. Northern side, we have MGs, Maxim Machine Guns, and all sort of nasty infantry weapons, or anti-infantry weapons. Just taking whatever they can. Pios going across the road. They're going to go cap some points, as the Osttruppen are getting engaged here by conscripts. Do have the support of an MG42 behind them. Conscripts do get suppressed. However, a shot going there from the AT gun demolishes the truck that the Osttruppen were using for cover. And allows them to basically fight face to face. Conscripts do manage to get the flank going on that MG42, going to be forcing it to retreat. Victory points are 198 for Frost and 495 for Jesulin, so Jesulin is sitting very pretty here. Does have more as far as army values, and tier 4 has gone down for Jesulin, skipping it altogether, so tier 2 to tier 4. Nice little tech decision there. And yeah, it looks like Frost is going to be relying on calling in vehicles to really be able to do anything heavier. Still needs a little bit more on the command point section, but well, it'll happen. On the right-hand side, conscripts running forward, doing a great job at getting behind those Maxim machine guns, forcing them to retreat. We do have a shock troop squad here that got suppressed, it looks like, by that machine gun. However, it is forced to retreat as the 222 gets on top of it. Well, on top of the conscripts that were supporting it. AT gun, though, does manage to get a shot going on the 222. Looks like it missed, however, so the scout car doesn't take any damage. Behind here on the walls, we do have MG42 set up to stop the approaching infantry and not allow them to gain too much ground. So Jesulin doing a great job at keeping Frost pinned in into this little section of territory, not allowing him to move out much at all. Frost was forced to replace the Maxim machine gun. Conscript squad did die at one point. I didn't notice. I'll write it down. Anyway, so yeah. Conscript squad did die. 222 up in the north, harassing the shock troops, as he knows that the shock troops really can't do anything against vehicles. I mean, I suppose I could throw a grenade at it. That will do damage, but not a lot of damage. Nowhere near enough to actually be a threat. They actually do significantly more damage with their SMGs at close range. Oh, nasty grenade going off on the Osttruppen squad. Down to 3 men, forces a retreat. However, with the support of that Maxim machine gun, manages to stop the shock troops from approaching and gets them out of there safely. Panther is coming down for Jesulin, as we do see the KV-8 coming onto the field for Frost. Excellent timing there for Jesulin and well, both players really, but I mean, Frost obviously needed to do that, and it's essentially what he was banking on doing. But it is basically, you know, immediately countered by Jesulin, as he knows and expects what's going to be happening here. And the Panther hits the field. The Panzer Grenadiers currently the only anti-tank on the field for Jesulin, getting torched and chased down here by the KV-8. However, they're kind of, I mean, maybe, I don't know if it was on purpose by Jesulin, but they're kind of indirectly just baiting the KV-8 to try and chase him and take him down. As the Panther hits the field, shot flies in its face. Heavy hit there on the KV-8. The KV-8 is down to about half health. The Panther is easily able to take it down. Takes another shot. Panther now taking shots by the AT gun. Not even taking any damage as it manages to deflect the shot. However, it's going to back off. It's not going to be too greedy. It's just going to let it stay there. Just letting you know, I see you. I know that you're there, you know. You're not going to be able to do much on this battlefield, my friend. And let's go deal with your other guys. So the shock troops running headlong into a Panther, realizing, we're shooting it, but it's not dying. I think our bullets can't kill metal. And they, of course, retreat. So, very difficult situation here for Frost to make a comeback. Down to 82 points, currently on the wrong side of a triple cap. And 50 versus 76 when it comes to pop caps. So, Jesulin just has so many things on the field, especially taking those two AT guns. KV-8 getting caught right there in the center. Second shot's going to kill it off here by the Panther. Boom! Down goes the KV-8, and with that, I think go down any hopes that Frost may have had of making a comeback. That KV-8 needed to do a lot, and a lot more than it, you know, did, obviously. Needed to kill a lot, potentially picked up the kill in the Panzer Grenadiers there at that point. Maybe clear out some of the MGs as it caught them, you know, out of position by themselves. Was unable to do that. And I mean, I suppose at this point, Frost is just simply going to wait to see if the IS-2 can turn it around. Because right now, the Panther really can't do much. I mean, its MG is really the biggest threat for the infantry. Its main gun rarely hits anything. And I suppose it could crush, so there's that. But the Panther itself isn't really threatening much right now. And that's why it's currently back here. it's actually much more vulnerable right now, as the AT gun can clink at it and maybe even accidentally take it out. So Pyo's pushing it through the center. Shock Troop Squad for Frost going for the center point, managing to get the decap. Gonna try and go for the cap to try and stop it, but it is gonna be cutting it close. It's gonna obviously only slow down the bleed to 1 point per tick, as it is 2 points per tick right now. But he needs to make a push for one of the other points. We do have the sheer amount of machine guns that got left on the field for Jesulin, just sitting pretty in multiple locations, covering the victory points, which makes it very, very difficult for Frost to do anything. Like I said, that KV-8 was essentially needed for that, to be able to clear those MGs. Manages to cap that center point, but 8 points left. I see no push. I mean, I have one over here on the conscripts going for that victory point. There is an MG covering it, so I highly doubt he's going to be able to do anything on time. Even without it, though, there's only 6 points left, 6 ticks. I don't think he can cap that in time. We also see a railway artillery getting called in straight into the center for Frost. I mean, not for Frost, for Jesulin. Manages to hit both the AT gun and the Maxim machine gun on the second shot, after having cleared a couple of units on the first one, and wound 1 point tick, and the conscripts getting pinned down. The game comes to a close, and Jesulin manages to score the win. So that was pretty good by Jesulin there. He handled the situation well, and even not having lost the MGs for Frost, if those Maxim machine guns had not been lost, it was still a very tough battle. I mean, Jesulin was dominating most of that, so, I mean, it would have probably prolonged the game a little bit longer than just 21 minutes, which I know is short. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, just gotta get back in the groove before I start doing any long-form games. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason Jesulin is, you know, so high up there and wins so many games. I mean, I haven't checked, but he's been doing pretty well on the ESL, right? I mean, pretty sure I remember at least him winning once. But, he's also won other tournaments and such. So anyways, guys, I do hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.